Yeah, what are you doing, silly girl?
Yeah, lots of Moluccan tales are on YouTube, so I think we're live. Yeah.
Yeah, Cockatude live, from Chloe Sanctuary. We're outside today. We got a lucky cooler day. It's only 79 degrees Fahrenheit. So, we got to test out the doctor's theory on Pippa, which is kind of great since the humidity this morning was 51%, which is really high for around here. The dew point was 47, so that means that you shouldn't have any nasal problems, and Pippa was not sneezing, so I opened the windows and I had to order another fan though. So I've got one big turbo fan, but I had to get another one. So he wants me to put one at the front of the building and one at the back of the building and suck the air through every morning. So got to get the dust out of the house. Hey, you, what you doing? Oh, you want down here? Well, come on. Oh, you just want me to bed you. All right.
So we have already some chatters. The bird nerdiest is here and says hello cockatoos. Then Michelle Thompson is here and greets everyone. And Warm Fuzzy Vibes is with us. And they just joined Erin McGraw. So hello and welcome. Good to see you all. Hope you're okay.
Hi, everybody.
As you can see, the vlog is today outside.
Yeah, it's a frigid 79 degrees
out. Well,
which is humidity is a little high. The humidity is probably around 35 right now. So. And Pippa hasn't sneezed with the high humidity overnight.
And GTH just arrived. And he asked, is that salamander barging in for scratches?
Yeah, but I happen to have asthma on my hands, so I can't do it. Bob's being nice to her, which is rare. Usually he's running her around. Uh-oh. Oh no. There we go. Trying to get the screen back so I can see what I'm doing. There we go. Yep, we're all enjoying the outside, getting some fresh air, and there's humidity in the air, so they're enjoying that. Be nice, Bob. Do not start that. A short trip to the cement. Slide down the leg.
Okay, let's see, where did I stop? So yeah, Erin is here, GTH is here, Robin Evans is here, and Lisa Banerjee just joined. So great to see you guys. I think Sugar is also happy to see you all, because then there are more people who can tell Dawn to pet her beak.
Yeah, Pippa got a clean bill of. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, I just wanted to introduce you to talk about Pippa's vet trip, because many people asked for that in chat, how Pippa is doing, how you are doing.
Yeah, the doctor, it's a nice long trip to Vegas, but she was doing on the bottom of the cage and the plastic tray that goes in there, and she was modifying that the whole way in and out, talking to me occasionally. Weren't the pet. basically, he's a good vet. He did a physical exam on her, and I filled him in on all the details. That she shows no sign of disease. She has discoloration around the nares. Her poop is the normal volume and the normal three elements. They're all the normal color, and her weight's been maintained. So he did a physical exam, weighed her, did the CBC, and he says, "Oh, I'm always willing to do one of those." And he did it by clipping the nail, which he prefers to do, and which I was glad to hear, because there's a danger in doing it if you're doing it with the artery that leads to the brain. They're asking for a potential, problem there. So he was glad to do that, and then he did a swab, upper and lower swab, and we'll get that. Probably those results we'll probably have back in a couple of days. The CBC will take 5. But he said from her weight and her looks, he said, fine specimen of a girl. And he's from San Diego originally. So what he said was that the problem here is because there's no humidity, that bothers the mucous membranes of their nares considerably. But that's not the major problem. The major problem is that when you have no humidity, that dust just floats in the air. So he said, have you noticed that? I said, yeah, the curtains are covered in dust. He goes, that's the problem. He says, so you're going to have to use a humidifier. You're going to have to get a commercial humidifier. It should be here. I had to order it from Costco. You can get that out of Amazon. So it should be here in a few days. I'm running the little humidifier. But he thinks that without the final results of the test, but he thinks that it's just all that floating dust in the air. They can't handle it. Some of them especially can't handle it. And he said the only way to get it down is to raise the humidity. You've got to be above the dew point. So, and then he wanted me to order another. I got one hurricane fan, order another one, and then put one exhausting from one side of the building, depending on which way the wind is, and one at the other end of the building, as an intake, and then blow the air through the house and blow all the dust out every day. And if the weather's good, to do it as much as possible. This morning I was able to run it for 4 hours. So, but I don't have the second exhaust. That should be here Saturday. So he said she's a fine specimen of a Triton. She was good. We put her in a towel, and she had one of her nemesis holding her, but she did okay. She didn't try to bite anybody. And she yelled a couple of times. But other than that, she was a good girl. Thank you, baby. So that's the extent of the Pippa torturing, and apparently no way out of it when you have cockatoos. He said there's only one way. The only way you can fix that is to not have cockatoos, or to run a humidifier and blow the place out with fans every day. So I'm also going to have to take a leaf blower, and blow all the dust off the curtains and all that. And it doesn't always work though, because it's stuff hooks to things, and then get it blown out of the house same day. So, but she hasn't. You're going to do it now, of course, when I say it. But she hasn't sneezed at all since the humidity went up so high. 51% when I got up, and in the building it was 41. I got the windows open and got it up to close to 50.
So I think we're all happy that so far it's nothing, other severe illness discovered in Pippa. So if it's really just the humidity or so, that's something that can be done. And it would be great if she's just a happy, healthy girl.
Well, as I've said before, she doesn't show any signs of illness. She just sneezes, So, and that's why he thinks, that there's that the tests that we did are are just going to prove out that she's not doesn't have any kind of sickness. He said it is possible when your nerves are irritated like that for a long period of time, it can get something else can get in there, because it's irritated. So it's good to check, but he doesn't expect to see anything. But he wasn't even planning on doing the CBC. I said, as long as we're here, let's do a CBC. He said, okay.
And how was the car ride with Pippa?
Well, it's nerve-wracking because I don't have anybody local. I could probably call the local rescue person if something happened. But you get stuck up in the mountains, and you got to get AAA to drag you somewhere. Where do you get them to drag you? And then how do you get back? I've got to be back here at a certain time. So otherwise, Sugar doesn't get her medicine. We got a problem. But it's a nice ride up through the mountains. Much better at this time of year than in the winter when you have to see if the pass is open. But there is an alternate route where you don't have to go through the pass. But at some point, I will need to get chains for the wheels just in case.
Did Pippa enjoy the
them
trip?
In the middle of summer? Huh?
Did Pippa enjoy the trip?
She seemed relatively bored. I talked to her, and we chatted back and forth, but she was just trying to chew the tray on the carrier.
And how was Pippa with the wet and wet assistance? Was she a good girl?
Yeah, she was a good girl.
I hope the vet used an Apple computer.
Yeah, no computers in the room, so I don't know what he uses as a computer. But he said a couple of funny things. He goes, and I told him where we were coming from Pahrump, and that we lived in San Diego. He says, "Well, have you met God yet?" And I went, "Huh?" He goes, "It's called air conditioning. Out here, air conditioning is God. If you don't have air conditioning, you're in hell." So he was joking about that with me.
Pippa?
He made it sound like he was going to try to convert me or something. And what he was really doing, it was just saying that if you have air conditioning, everything's fine out here. Stay in the air conditioning.
Good girl, Pippa. I'm proud of her.
We had a second air conditioner for emergencies and 2 generators. He goes, "Well, there you go. Welcome to Nevada." And he was aware of the what they're doing with rentals now. He said, "Yeah, you probably wouldn't be able to find a rental that would let you have the birds in it. And then even if they did, they'd want $4,000 or $5,000 a month." So we did the right thing. But he's a good vet. He knows what he's doing. But he took Pippa directly from me. And she doesn't always get along with men either. With men, it's a toss-up. But I said, "Well, if you can," he goes, "I don't care. If I get bit, I get bit." And I went, "That's just the kind of attitude I like from a vet." And I said, "The first vet I went to wouldn't even touch her." He said, "Oh, no, I'm not taking any chances." I told him that Chloe had said, Chloe didn't bite. And he goes, "I've heard that before." And I said, "Have you heard this before? I'm leaving and I'm not paying you." And he laughed. He goes, "I would have done the same thing." He says, "If you've got an avian, somebody who's a vet who works with birds and they won't handle a bird." But he took her and she was fine with it. He didn't care. And I think, again, that's part of the big thing. He actually didn't care if she bit him. And I think that if you have that attitude, and it's a real attitude, you're not trying to fake it, then they aren't going to bite. Pretty rare that you get that unless they get afraid or something. She wasn't afraid. She knew she was in a veterinary. She's obviously been to the vet many times, so she recognized the surrounding as a vet office, didn't you, girl?
So, and there was another little incident yesterday, right?
Yeah, I'm bringing getting ready to bring them their food or wet food, about 7:30 in the morning, and I hear the doorbell go off. What in the world? So I go there, and there's a guy, he's parked out with his truck parked on my driveway, and he says, "You've got a flood. You have a problem with your well. It's leaking bad." So I said, "Thank you." Went out there and looked, and it had blown a huge leak on the intake side, the side that comes up from the pump. So I called the well company, and they got out about 10:30, and they said what's happening is that the concrete pad it's on is sinking. So he propped it up with some wood underneath the tank and said, "You're probably going to want to have somebody come out here and raise it up." I think I might be able to get some concrete slabs and just raise it up myself, but I'll check and see if that's okay with the well drilling company, because they don't do that work. So he can at least advise me if other people done it, because you can get slabs of concrete and just slide it under there. You just have to rock the tank a little bit and then slide it under. But if not, I'll have whatever concrete company does that come out and do it. Yeah, it's quite the flood. A huge lake of water out there. It must have happened in the middle of the night.
Looks like Bob is a good boy today.
Bob, are you a good boy? What happened to that big piece of wood? Oh, he dropped it. You want it back? Here. You want it back? Or did you throw it down on purpose? Did I hear a sneeze from a Pippa? I did. The humidity is dropping.
Who's that bucket boy? I just saw down there.
Diesel.
The sea.
Diesel bird. What are you doing? The other bucket boy's up there. Aren't you, KK?
So warm fuzzy vibes and Falcon Zero. Happy to hear that Pippa was such a good girl at the vet, and you have now finally met one of your new avian veterinarians. GTH is asking, can you see the slippage mark on the valve casing to confirm the slab is sinking?
No, but I'll take a look at it again, but it was obvious that the other side was being stressed, being pulled down a little bit too. So when he propped it up, it was nice and even. And then they fixed it under warranty, so they didn't charge. They only charged me $100. They didn't charge me for the part. Of course, it's an 1.25 PVC, or it's 1.5 PVC union. Probably only costs about $8. The problem with unions is that outer piece that hooks to one side has threads on it, on the outside, male threads. One side has female in it. And it has a slip nut on there, and those things break. I've got to see a schedule 80 on there, but when I came out, he'd already fixed it, so didn't even know he was there. Said he was going to be there in 15 minutes, and I'm after a half hour, I go, "What?" I walk outside, and he's parked over by the working on it. Yeah, you sure about that?
Which Moluccan is running back there?
Here's Pip. I mean, that's Pip. That's Jazzy Jazzbird.
Moluccan. The Jazzbird.
Oh, come here.
Oh, Manda gets he finally picked up. Nope.
Nobody's chasing him, Andrew. Are you sure you can handle it? You sure you can handle it without being chased?
There he comes, little Mander.
How you doing? Hey, don't you mess with him. Yeah,
Little tiny
leave him.
boy.
No. Just wanted to get petted. Silly Pip Pip. Lucy, what are you doing? Yeah, well, yeah, you feel better.
Oh
Yeah,
my.
the only thing he told me that I wasn't aware of is that this dust becomes suspended in the air if there's no moisture to bring it down. He said you're never going to get the humidity up to any high level. But if you use a commercial one, you might be able to get it up to 40-45%, and that should be enough to pull that stuff out of the air. He says otherwise all the dust just floats in the air, and then, which is why the picture of her age of Steve Jobs, which is got a black background, is I have to keep wiping it down because it turns white. That's because the dust is just floating in the air.
If you can't see Steve, it's definitely too much dust.
That's what Pippa says. Yeah.
Look at that. Good, Pippa. Oh, look at that Babaloo. Oh, that's a big piece of wood.
I asked him about vets in the area that do major surgery, and he says there really aren't any. You got to go to Los Angeles. Dr. Nimitz, the one that worked on her, is if you want to have major surgery done, you got to go there. But there are vets, but none of them. He says I don't feel any of them out here are competent to do that kind of surgery. Because they're rare in the United States anyway. He says we're lucky to have them, within 4 hours, but drive. But
Beautiful.
the her old vet is the one if we'd go to see if we need major surgery. But
the major surgery for Babaloo.
Yeah, I mean, they can do a colobacapexy out here, but they're not going to do either the one where you tie it up to the rib cage, which would be best done by Dr. Jenkins, or there's that new procedure up in Seattle, maybe, which is somewhat easier, but nobody knows it yet. He hadn't even heard of it yet. I mean, they haven't talked about it at any of the avian veterinary association meetings. So
I think I just spotted the Lucy in the corner.
Lucy's in the corner. Yeah, Lucy in the sky with diamonds. There she is.
And is KK out?
Yes, he is. I'm trying to see where Snowball is. Oh, there's Snowball. Snowball's up here. KK's over there. Jazzy's up against the far side of the cage. Mander's staring at me.
Yeah, that's
Bob's
the
in my
Mander.
lap. Sugar over there. They're having a good time. It's nice I can get them out here. And it looks like, you can't tell by the, it's usually about 6 or 7 degrees off when they predict the weather, but I should be able to get.
And where's Cecil?
Out here
is he in the bucket?
Yeah, Cecil is in the bucket.
All right. Lisa Banerjee tells in chat, I would have to go to Seattle if I needed a surgery for Rico. Seattle is 2.5 hours from me.
Yeah, well, at least that's close for most people in the country. You can't even get to one. I mean, it seems like it's the coasts that have all the major veterinarians that the surgical vets. So it's a 4-hour trip for us one way. So we need something like that. I'm going to need to have some volunteers that can either that or there's a transport service they have that'll take a bird out and bring it back for you. But that's the other way to do it.
Yeah, we always and still look for volunteers. So I think we are now 3 months roundabout in Parham, and Don has so far nicely settled in. And now we have our eyes open. So I suppose you guys in chat are not near Parham, but if anyone knows somebody, or just in case someone is watching from Parham and is interested, just email Don. The birds would like to meet you. We have set up that incredible toy station where one can fabricate some really creative birdie toys for Cecil and Bob and toy expert KK.
He's good at taking them apart. They're wooden, that's for sure. Although he likes these little wicker baskets too. He takes those apart pretty fast. I'm definitely going to have to start cutting wood again. But if you can buy a piece of wood for $5 or $6 and make quite a few pieces of toy out of it, so. Is that right, big boy? Yeah. Just have to get a drill press. So many things to get. Cost as much. The things I had to buy when I got back cost as much as the vet visit. So that he said two hurricane fans. I kind of knew that would be the best solution, because you have to have one to push the air and the other one to pull it. You really want to get the air out of the house. The dust is going to be in the air, so it's not like you have to.
Well, if it's just about blowing up some dust, then if Mando or Sugar or someone else that has the flappies, that usually puts also a lot of dust and wind in the air.
Yeah, that's true.
But they don't flap on command.
I don't think we want any more dust in the air. Can avoid it, right, big boy? Andrew. Bob.
GTH says in chat, I still think some rock star needs to donate a tour bus and driver. He'd have more help than he could stand. I'll bring tools. Big tour bus for all the birdies. That'll be funny.
That's my shoe. Hey! What are you doing?
Gesundheit.
Yeah, not a sneeze out of her until I got her outside. But as he said, the change in the pollen in the air may also be making it worse for her. You may have a problem with that. He certainly had the right answers. I said, well, I was studying online, and they were vets talking about how they don't think they have any allergic reactions. And the first words out of his mouth are, "We don't have a test to tell." I said, "Yeah." So to me, that's fallacious to say that you don't think something's possible when you can't see whether they have it or not. And he said, "Yeah, they do react. Some of them do react to the local pollens in the air, and they're different than in San Diego considerably. So it might just be dust. You may not like the dust." She just got out here, and the humidity's dropping, but it's still probably not bothered her too much, and she started sneezing. So, hey, let's not fight, you two. Yeah, I know you're a big chicken. You start it, and then you have to run away, don't you, Bob? You big chicken. You're a chicken. Chicken bird. Well, Pippa, I would, but I can't. Bob is standing on my arm. Bob the big chicken. You guys, would you be gentle, Bob? You're being too rough. Come on, be gentle. You're just going too fast. Slow down. Yeah, slow it right down. That's going to happen. Better, Bob. That's better.
Lisa Banerjee is writing in chat. Don, would just a small face, Miss Daly, would that help with the sneezing?
Oh, they get misted twice a day, and she gets extra in the face. So it does seem to help, But the commercial humidifier ordered is supposed to work up to 2,000 square feet, and it's the ultrasonic type, so it doesn't have any moving parts. There's a lot of them that have moving parts, and you know what that means. That's the plan. That's not going to last very long. So, and the UVs are, they're not the furnace type that heat everything up. So we don't need any more heat in the air. That's for sure. And I started up my RO again just to make the water for the humidifiers, because we're going to burn through a lot of water every day, probably about 12 liters or something like that. Maybe less. Hard to say. The unit I ordered is it's a 6.5 liter unit. So and I had to order it from Home Depot, which means that it takes longer to get here. But they didn't have one like it on Amazon. They had a lot of them, but none of them that I was impressed with. So
Michelle is saying, would that be possible to find the old bus and kit it out for vet use?
do what? I'm sorry.
Kit it out. KIT. So I think I'm not sure. Maybe that some kind you can take all the birds with you if you have to drive farther away.
Well, the van's set up to do that, and I have electricity in there, so I can run a HEPA filter, that kind of thing. But ran a standard HEPA in there. Yeah, it's fitted out to take. That's how we got the birds here. Yeah, the van has actually 13 cages in it. So
Yeah, I think when the chatters talk about a big tour bus, it's like, yeah, you could set in there really big cages and you could sleep in there too, and also had some kind of kitchen arrangement. And so I know that's just, utopia, but would actually be cool to have such a thing.
Well, I knew people who did that. They had a large recreational vehicle, and they traveled all around the country with their birds, and it was all fitted up for the birds. And they had 3 birds in their large cages too. So, but I've only known one couple that did that. The longer you're out here, the more you sneeze, right? So I can feel the humidity dropping. It's funny, after a while you can feel that, but there's something in the air that's bothering your ears.
The Pip Pip was in Vegas.
Yeah. It's weird when you go to places here and you don't even think about it. You're like, where was that one place I was at?
Now I understand. Michelle says, is clarifying. I was thinking a bus that could be used as a mobile vet service, so Dawn wouldn't have to travel. So basically that the vet comes to you. I think, such kind of arrangement would be possible, but I don't think, that a vet who lives 4 hours away or so just drives to you to do such a surgery. Usually you have to come to the vet. So and there they have all, as it's not only the vet, they also need the assistant who does the anesthesia, and would be great if such a thing exists. But and then there's another question by GTH. I assume the birds have a greater hearing range than we do. Do we know what the upper frequency cutoff is with respect to an ultrasonic humidifier?
No, we don't, but I have one in there and it doesn't bother them. They don't pay any attention to it. Whether it's on or off doesn't mean anything, so I don't think they hear it. That was a question I had too when I got the little one. This is just supposed to do a bedroom or whatever. I was just trying it around her to see if it would stop the sneezing. It really just didn't raise the humidity enough, but they don't react to it, so it must be beyond their range of hearing. Or if it isn't, it's not a sound that bothers them. But all the other ones, you either have a furnace type or you have one that they use sliding plates. And anytime you have anything that's mechanical, you're talking about it breaking down pretty quickly, because planned obsolescence is the way of the West. They don't make anything to last. So, but at least with an ultrasonic, there's no moving parts, so you don't have to deal with a moving part dying. Eventually, the circuitry will, but that's true of the ones with the moving parts. The other ones are the furnace type, and you can get those where they'll do a whole room, and you can just put them into a water line and just let them go. But the problem with those, of course, is they heat the water. So we don't need the temperature to be raised by the steam coming off one of those. And those are little wall units. You can put one in like the middle of the house and it'll do the whole place, but it's going to heat it up too much. What, Pip Pip? Here comes Cecil. Cecil bird. So that was the way I originally had bought. Didn't spend a lot on the first humidifier because it's just to see if it would make any difference, and to see if they would react to it. But they didn't. I don't know what their hearing range is. I don't think anybody actually has done any tests to see what the hearing range of a cockatoo is. I'd be surprised. You can always check online and see if there's any information. You can ask Chat GPT, I suppose. And if that information exists before 2021, it would have it. What? What? Cecil? What? What, Cecil?
Proud Cecil and his broken rattle ball.
Yeah, he has one that still has a rattle in it. The other ones usually have little pieces of wood I've stuffed into them to rattle, but I was in a hurry to get out here today when I realized I could take them out. It took me a while to realize I haven't been able to take them out in so long. I wasn't even thinking of it. And then I went, wait a minute. They're saying the top temperature today is going to be like 87. Then they could probably be out for 3 hours or so. So, and yesterday, because I was gone so long, I couldn't take them out. So with no volunteers, I've got no one who could stay behind and clean the cages or do anything like that. So and you got to trust them too. It takes a little while to build up the trust where you can leave your birds with somebody. If I do it with somebody I don't know. Right, Cecil?
I think we need to hang up some rattle ball posters in the city so people can see, oh, a rattle ball. I must come there and help out. The animal who plays with it must be gorgeous.
Good looking, aren't you, Cecil? I don't know what that means. I'm just Cecil. He's a good bird, though, aren't you, Cecil? You get along with everybody, except when you're whacking them with a toy. But always try to preen other birds, make them feel comfortable. Yes, you do. Oh, here comes the pest. Hello, pest. What have you been up to?
I think some whining bird also is walking right over you. And playing, I think, oh my gosh, live on YouTube, Shuggy is playing. Now she stops, of course. But she was for a moment. A rare sighting. It's basically like every biologist who sees a species for the first time, like, what?
Sugar, I would love to pet you. I would. Here's the problem, though. I have Cecil sitting on my arm.
Oh my gosh, all mulattoes were for a moment on the camera.
Cecil, if you could get off my arm, I could pet her. I know, Sugar. I'm going to try to get him off my arm. I don't know if he'll come off, though. He's kind of stuck on that. You want to get off my arm for a minute? Will you let me pet her while you're on my arm? Shoulder. Okay. Thank you, Cecil. You're a good boy. Well, I know. I don't know what those weird white things are up in the sky, though. That's really odd. I don't usually see those things.
Clouds. I hope Snowball's doing some skywalking. Walking on the ceiling. Spider birding.
You're stuck. It's because you're grabbing the thing in my shirt and you know better. Stop that. Let go. Play bird. Snowball. Snowball. Hi. What are you doing? Hi, boy. What are you doing up there?
Is that Manda boy hanging out next to Auntie Shuggy?
Yep.
Oh my.
They're all three close together now. Yes, what do you want? You want down? No, I can't pet you and sugar at the same time. Yeah, Jazz had a bad time of it yesterday. When I got back, she was freaking out. She wanted that so bad. So, weren't you, girl? Diesel? Ow, Bob. I know you're trying not to fall, but you could use something besides my skin. Yeah, I know you were trying to use the shirt. Well, yeah, that's you, Bob. I try to get the camera focused on you and you turn your head. That's you too, huh?
Oh my, sweet, sweet Bob. I love that Bob. Yes, I do.
He's a good boy. Aren't you, Bob? Bob a good boy? Yeah, Bob's a good boy. Hold on, you two. Cecil, you're back on my wrist again. As you're just gonna get mad at me if I pet you too much. What? What'd you say? Babaloo?
Bobbity Bob. All Moluccans on one page, oh my. Babalu, what are you thinking? Is the Moluccan density over there too high?
Cecil, I can't pet her if you're on my wrist. You're stepping up on my wrist. I love having you on me. I do, but I can't pet sugar on my wrist. What? What?
Oh, look the Babalu. Don, Lisa, and I are just talking about her parrot Rico, which is a golfing cockatoo, and she says he's 35 years old. So, in what range is Rico now? How old are golfins? What's the average age they can reach? Do you know?
No, and I don't think anyone does.
Okay.
And the reason I say that is because people rarely keep them for the full span of their life. So they move from person to person, and then you lose what age they were born at, and the next thing you know, or born, they were hatched, and there's a big difference between one and the other. So I try not to use that wrong word. One's really messy and ugly, and the other one is, really kind of cute. So we don't. The lifespans they show on the charts aren't necessarily true. So, Could be quite some time yet, but we just don't know.
Mm. Oh, big cutie Mander. Oh my, he's so sweet.
I don't know what the chart says, but you can't go by it. You know,
Oh, and
could live
Lisa says
longer
she
or less.
the third owner. So yeah, that's
Mhm.
that's wow.
Typical.
Mm. So Jocelyn is asking you, Dawn, if you have any smoke problems where you are. I think NYC is New York City, and up in Nova Scotia, so it's a big fire which causes in the north of the US a lot of dust in the air. So
No, not from fire, not so much in this area. If they have fires here, a little house fire, a little nice. Because there just isn't much in the way of vegetation. There's weeds, and even this time of year, the weeds die and then kind of blow away with the wind, so there isn't much. When I chop the weeds down here, except for some of the ones I kind of like, they have nice flowers, but no, that's not really a problem. At least that's what they tell me around here. And of course, when you look around and see there's a lot of vegetation, there isn't much to burn, really.
yeah,
What did
it's
burn
not
would
so
burn
much. It's
fast.
not the fire which causing trouble. It's the smoke from the fire. I think Nova Scotia is Canada, so but obviously the fire is that big that the smoke is causing trouble. Erin told too that she cannot open the window.
Yeah, I heard that in New Jersey the air pollution is really high today. So it might be from that same fire. Depending on the jet stream where it's carrying the smoke, but not something we normally get here. I mean, it can happen, but we also are surrounded by mountains, so it's a little harder for the smoke has to be pretty high up in the air to get to us.
Oh no. I just saw Mander. I think he was thinking a short time about going off the Shuggy's tail, but then decided to do circles and spinning instead, which was a really good decision, Mander.
Yeah, it was. That's Jazzy's tail there, but yeah.
Oh, a
Jazz
Jazzy
would
tail,
not take,
okay.
yeah,
Because
tails.
someone is walking up and down, and when turning, showing the tail towards Mander. Oh no, but both on every side and Auntie, be careful, Mander. I think we're heading towards pink trouble.
He's shortened his circle, just moving his head.
Yeah, I think now he feels uncomfortable because he has no way to escape. On both sides is a mean auntie. And the thing is, he seems still like his aunties. So he still seems to like Shuggy, and he likes Auntie Jazz.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he does seem to.
He's such a sweet boy. Spin, 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 spin.
To them, he seems to seem more like the Forrest Gump or something.
Mm. We really need to look for a male role model for Mander. Maybe we really should start showing him videos of Mr. Max TV, or I don't know who's else out there looking for. Well, Gotcha is a male Moluccan. Mander.
Well, I guess the house got up to 78 degrees. It's only 80 outside. The air conditioner just turned on.
Mm. Hmm.
Let
Well,
me see,
usually
Jazz. Yeah,
Cecil starts breathing hard first when it gets taught.
she's got a little beak work there. She's got a point up here I got to take off. And a portion of her beak needs to be trimmed down a bit. But that's okay. Pippa needs a little trim. So does Paws. Yeah, Lucy. Here, let me see your beak. No, look at my beak. So yours is okay today. Come here, cutie. I don't trim their beaks unless they have to, but with Lucy, it's a have to situation. With Jazz, that top one gets real thin and you can break it. I don't actually trim it, so I trim it down a little bit. And then she gets a point, usually on the left side of her lower beak. And trim that. When it comes to KK, though, he gets the whole treatment because he's got scissor beak, so he's going to be getting. He's pretty good about it. He's not happy, but he's pretty good about it. I have to level that about a top point about a half an inch. It grows back so fast. When he got here, it was absolutely awful. I hadn't been touched in 8 months. What rescuer up in Las Vegas said they hadn't done anything, so they just let it grow.
Don, just a little question inside. Which was the name again about the rescue? Was it Mikaboo or something like that?
Oh, for the cockatoo,
For the
Mikaboo, yeah.
Mikaboo.
I think they started out just as a cockatiel rescue, and we all start out one way and end up another. But we were a rescue and sanctuary, and now we're a sanctuary only. I mean, the birds, we take care of these birds that need special. This one is she's a mutilator, so every bird here has some special need. It's got the twisted pelvis. So most rescues have birds that are relatively, I would say, normal. Their behaviors and their bodies aren't as damaged as ours. So. Right, little girl.
Yeah, they have a lot of cuties there in Mikaboo Rescue.
Oh yeah, they do. Yeah, they're good. They're good people. They know what they're doing.
Yeah, they also they seem to have some foster parents who care for them and kind of re-educate some of the birds, so it's easier to find new parents for them.
Cockatoos and budgies. The cockatiels and budgies are usually easy, to find a place, whether it's going to work or not. But
well, it's at least
conures,
it's kind of probably easy to find foster homes, because the thing is, if you the space a budgie needs, so if it's cleared, so you can have it in a big aviary with other budgies, and then it's not the space problem you have when you compare to being a foster parent to 20 cockatoos or so, which is basically impossible. Babalu says no.
what do you say, Bob?
Being foster parent to 20 tritons, oh my gosh, I think.
You might teach right now. I don't think that. Well, I'm not sure that's possible, but not if you let them out. If you let him out, what do you want? Yeah, I know you didn't get enough. You didn't get any attention yesterday.
I have the feeling if one puts Manda in an aviary with budgies, one needs to protect Manda, not the budgies.
Probably. He doesn't take well to any birds with attitude. He's like, I'm out of here. Simone used to chase him around. That video I put up today has got Simone in it, and she used to chase him around. And she's like 420 grams. I mean, he's at the time he was 1,100 grams. So, weren't you, boy? You were a little overweight, just a little overweight. Well, folks, it's that time again. So, I'm gonna hang out with the birds. Thanks for being here. Thanks, Amy, for your help. Thanks, Eleanor, for your help.
Eleanor is not here today.
Oh, yeah, that's right. It's fake Amy in there. But she doesn't talk a lot. You hardly ever hear her, so I assume she's there somewhere. Thanks, Amy, for moderating, and I'm gonna hang out with the birds and use the other hand to pet them now. Like, yes, I see that you want down. Come on, baby. Come on. Bob, be nice to her. Be nice to her. Oh, that's not Bob. That's Pippa. Oh, you'll be nice. That was nice to her. That was nice to her. I just saw the yellow feather and went, oh. Nope. It's good. So thanks, guys, for being here and for all of your advice and assistance. And we'll see you Wednesday. Wednesday? What is today? We'll see you Monday.
Monday.
Yeah.
Today is
Monday. Yesterday just put me on
today is
another
Wednesday.
planet. Yeah, long trips do that to me. Okay, guys. Bye, everybody.